Well, day 3 was another failure. I spent way too much money again. I bought way too much cool stuff. We went to 8 stores today across Michigan. I just got back home. I'm in Ann Arbor now, and tomorrow I'm heading out bright and early to go and try to hit 15 stores in Detroit. Adri's tapping out. I'm going to have a new camera guy starting tomorrow because Adri's got to go do school or something pointless. You know, it was kind of a light day compared to the 10 stores of yesterday, but I'm still pretty tired. After 3 days of this, I'm starting to get pretty tired. Anyway, let's take a look at what I got. The first place we went to was A&A Comics, which it turns out is not a comic store. It is a guy selling comics on eBay out of his house. It was by far the most noteworthy place we went today, and maybe I'll have some clips of it in the final episode, but unfortunately it was disqualified from the main video because they don't sell new comics. It's just an online store. But I did get this cool Spectacular Spider-Man magazine. That's the first one. It's black and white, John Romita Sr. art in there. Pretty cool. And as I was leaving, he handed me this. It's a trade paperback of a story by someone that I think is local. That's what he said, I think. Don't know anything about it, but I will never say no to free comics. Then we had to wait around for 2 hours for the next comic shop to open. That was Summit Comics and Games in Lansing, and they had mostly new stuff, but I did manage to find something that I thought was a good deal. It's the trade paperback of Stray Dogs. I haven't read this yet. I keep hearing great things about it. It looks very My Little Pony, which makes sense because it's the same artists, and that's not really my thing, but I'm going to give it a fair try. Then really quick on our way out of Lansing, we stopped at the Lansing Mall to go to Chaos Comics, Games, and Collectibles, and they did not have anything I was looking for. It was a collectibles store that happened to have a few comics. But the store after that was Kruger Comics, way down in South Haven, so we drove all the way from Lansing to South Haven during peak hours on a Sunday, which I wasn't super happy about, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And they had some cool stuff. I found a couple pocketbooks I really like. Got my first Ziggy pocketbook, and I got my first Heathcliff pocketbook. I feel like I haven't read a Heathcliff comic since I was 12. Pretty happy to find them for a good price, too. They also had some dollar bins that I pulled stuff out of. I got an issue of Airboy. It's really good art. And I got an issue of Yang. I think I had another issue of Yang up on my wall as a prop in one of my episodes. It's just a cool Charlton comic. That store was really cool. They were actually playing one of my videos on their screen when I got there. It was the first time I've ever seen somebody watching my videos in the wild, so to speak. It was a little trippy, but cool. Mostly cool. Next, we went to Fanfare in Kalamazoo, and that one came pre-recommended to me by one of my buddies. And they did not disappoint. They were huge and they had tons and tons of bargains. I grabbed a bunch of cool stuff, like issue 14 of Creatures on the Loose, just a cool cover. Issue 15 of Creatures on the Loose, it's a living mountain, and it says, "It's alive and it's hungry." And issue 21 of Creatures on the Loose, just a cool campy series I'm excited to have more of. I also got this really cool issue of Fear. They have that cool box up here with some kind of critter. And they've got the typical Marvel format from the mid-70s, I think that was, when they had just a box. And I don't really love that format, but it's a cool period. Then I got some stuff out of their 50-cent bin. I got issue 5 of Doctor Strange. There's some water damage on there, but it's still readable. This issue of World's Finest says, "Surrender or I command my females to kill your friend." Not very PC, giant alien boy. And here's another super cheap issue of World's Finest. They just have goofy covers. It was a great era for DC Comics. They were not afraid to be goofy. Something I'm really excited about finding at Fanfare was Tukey by Jeff Smith. I got this for 40% off. I've been kind of dragging my heels on grabbing it because I wasn't sure if it was going to be anywhere as good as Bone, but for a great deal, I'm happy to add it to my collection. It's in like a classic Sunday comic strip format, so I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put that on my bookshelf, but I have a couple other in this format that I got to figure out where to put anyway. So I'm excited to finally read this. And the comic I'm most excited about, but also the most ashamed that I bought, is this omnibus, All of Miracle Man by Alan Moore and Alan Davis. And listen, yeah, it's super expensive. It's way over my budget, but I got it for less than it would be on Amazon. Less than my local comic shop offered to get it for me. It's a great deal, and I've been wanting to buy it for a long time anyway. So I stumbled onto a great deal that's probably better than what I'm going to see at even comic conventions for the next few years. Couldn't help it. It's gorgeous. It's brand new. It's still shrink wrapped. Really excited. Then we went to Rocket Comics down the street, and they had tons of cool stuff. I could have easily spent hundreds of dollars there. I managed to grab this pocketbook of the Incredible Hulk. It was only like $2. Really great deal. And I've still been asking about those little metal figures everywhere I go. And every single shop today said no, they didn't have any of them, except for Rocket Comics. And they had a ton of them still in the box, a bunch of singles. I picked up one because they were pretty expensive. I paid more than I really would like to for this one, but I would have felt really silly asking everybody if they had them and then not buying them when I got the chance to buy them. Kruger Comics did say that they would order them and then even ship it to me, which was very considerate. But realistically, I'm only looking to spend no more than $5 on each of these. If I got to spend more than that, I'm just not as excited about it. It doesn't feel like a cool deal. And they had some priced at Rocket Comics for like $25 each, which may be fair. I don't know. I've never paid actual market value for them. But I got Beast. He was, I think, the best bang for the buck, so to speak. They had a package. They had 2 packages, actually, of like 12 of them in each package. But they were $50 or $60 for a package, and I can't do that on this trip. Looking back on it, that's a pretty good deal per piece, but if I already had like 4 of them, then it didn't work out. The math doesn't compute. So I only got one of those today. Next, we went to Perfect Storm Comics in Battle Creek, and they were very kind to let us browse after they'd closed. I thought they closed at 8, but they actually closed at 6, so we got there right at 6, and they let us look around for a few minutes. I only grabbed one comic from them. It's this issue of Astonishing X-Men. It's one of the only issues I don't have, and I got it for $1. So that was pretty exciting. And then I hurried up and got out of there so they could close the shop. The last shop that we went to was called Crescent Comics in Coldwater, Michigan, and they were more of a game store. They don't have new comics as well, but they did have some really cool key issues. I got to look through a bunch of his really expensive stuff. I grabbed this issue of Captain America. It was for an okay price. It's just a cover that I like. And I think that is it. I spent way too much money today. I'm going to have to try really hard not to spend too much money tomorrow when I hit twice as many stores, hopefully. Thanks to everybody who's been following along. I see the same people commenting over and over, and that's really encouraging. It's nice to be building some kind of community with the channel. I'm glad that you guys feel like you can belong in this space. And once again, stay tuned, because I am not even halfway through all the comic shops in Michigan, so more to come. Thanks.